Hi everyone, my name is Melanie and welcome to this Comeback Yoga Chair Series. I'm really so glad to have you here. So before we begin, I want to provide you with a little reminder that this class is completely and 100% for you. It's for what your body and your mind needs today. So please use my words as a guide, but adjust whatever you need throughout the class. My aim is to really just help you cultivate a sensation that feels comfortable and safe throughout the class. So if you think about it on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being feeling nothing at all, and 10 feeling pain, lots of discomfort, or lots of overstimulation, I really hope that you can maintain a moderate 4 to 6 range. So if you go anywhere above or below that, please feel free to make adjustments to your movement and breath based on your needs. And throughout the class, we really aim to cultivate the relationship between our minds and our bodies, moving our bodies with mindfulness and utilizing our breath thoughtfully throughout. And throughout your yoga journey, however many times you show up to class, many students discover ease from physical and emotional pain or discomfort. And for some, relief really is just momentary, just while you're in class or just for certain movements or poses. While for a lot of others who have a more consistent yoga practice, they really find long-term benefits. So I hope that that's true for you as well. So today, to start with, since this is our very first class in the series, we'll begin by introducing some breath work. Then we'll move into really gentle upper body movements to relieve tension, to relieve any of those strains and stresses and things that we carry throughout our days. And then we'll start to sort of put the building blocks together to build strength. And that we will build on for the next upcoming several classes in this series. So go ahead and get started. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter what kind of seat you're in or what you're wearing or anything like that. I'm just happy to have you here, and this class welcomes anyone in any way you come into the space. So please just find your way, however you're seated, wherever you're seated, all the way to the edge of the chair. The goal here is to establish what we call in yoga the mountain pose. This mountain pose really calls upon the stability, the strength, and the empowerment that's evoked from the image of a mountain. So as we enter into this mountain pose, really think about rooting those sits bones and even the tailbone firmly into the seat that you're sitting on. And in opposition, that really encourages each vertebrae of the spine to stack one on top of the other, getting a little bit taller and creating a little bit of space between the vertebrae. And don't forget the back of the neck. We often forget, and we all kind of live our days with our chins up a little bit. But remember that the back of the neck is just as much a part of the spine. So let's incorporate that, relieve some of the stress in the neck by ever so slightly tucking that chin down and lifting the top of the head through the ceiling all the way towards the sky. So now everybody should be about an inch taller. And here we're also allowing our shoulders to gently drop away from the ears without forcing them down, but just allow the weight of gravity to gently pull them away from your ears. Some of us collect that sort of tension and we hold our shoulders up without even realizing it. So just breathe and allow the shoulders to drop naturally. And then the last thing we'll do is we're going to spread our legs about hip distance apart. You can take a moment to look down. Make sure that your knees are about hip distance apart and that all 10 toes are also facing forward. So when we are in proper alignment, we're protecting all of our joints here. So coming back up to our mountain pose, start to wiggle a little bit. Wiggle in your seat. Feel the sensations that come up in your sits bones here. Start to feel the reverberation come up through your spine, all the way up through your head. So thinking about energy coming up through your head, elongating that spine, and starting to bring some energy, some aliveness, some awakeness into the body here with those wiggles. And it can feel a little silly, and sometimes in my classes we call this just grooving out, which feels good. We'll do this, throughout the class just to loosen up a little bit. And finding stillness. Last thing to establish our mountain pose here and start to really build that strength that we're going to build upon later in the class and later in the series. Gently bring the belly button a little bit towards the spine. And maybe in reaction to that, the lower back gets a little bit straighter. So we're eliminating that deep bend some of us carry in the low back. We're activating and engaging the core muscles here. The core being not only the front, those abdominals here, but the core also includes the back here, the low back and the mid back range. We're even incorporating the rib cage here. So we have that strong, solid core from which we can more freely move our limbs later on in class. So here we have our full mountain pose. So we'll be returning to our mountain pose throughout the class, just for a moment of stability, for a moment of remembering our strength, remembering that we're empowered being here, and that we have the ability to move our bodies from this strong, solid, reliant base. All right, let's move into our breath work here. So feel free to close your eyes, or if you're not comfortable with your eyes closed, find a soft gaze and a low diagonal in front of you, somewhere on the floor in front of you. So we're not tucking the chin, but we're just gently lowering the eyes and just honing in on one point so we can really focus in on that, not be distracted by anything going on around the room. And then if you'd like, you can bring one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, spreading your fingers wide, and then just allow your elbows to drop and relax. Start to notice your breath without changing anything quite yet. Just take note of it. Notice how you came into this space today. Notice how you've been maybe breathing throughout the day today, maybe with a little bit of a shorter breath, shorter inhales, shorter exhales. And maybe you even notice for the first time that you haven't actually taken a deep breath at all today, which is very common. But hopefully throughout this class today and throughout our series, we can learn to deepen that breath and really utilize it as a tool to connect our minds and our bodies and our nervous systems. So by noticing without any judgment, we can just see and consider where we entered the space today, where we're at, and then we can go from there. Let's deepen our breath, deepening and elongating those inhales, and deepening and elongating the exhales. And begin to observe as you're deepening the breath, filling the air more and more. Begin to observe how your body reacts. Maybe you notice the sensation of the rise and the fall of the chest and the belly in your hands, feeling your palms and your fingertips as you inhale, and releasing from your palms and your fingertips as you exhale. Or maybe you like to take note of the texture of the clothes that you're wearing. Are they soft? Are they rough? Are they itchy? Whatever's coming up for you, maybe you take note of the texture. Or if you'd like, you can start to take note of the temperature. Is there warmth emanating from your body? Are you a little chilly? Or maybe you notice the temperature of the room. Choose one observation, either from the list I just shared or coming up with your own. And as you continue to deepen the inhales and the exhales, just hone in on that one sensation. This here is where we begin the practice of presence, of being present with our minds and our bodies here and now. And one way to do that is to really hone in and notice the sensation. So continuing that breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And establishing a rhythm of that breathing, finding the depth of the breath that we can continue to carry throughout the rest of the class. Continuing that breath, we're going to drop the arms by the sides. And then we're going to start tapping, gentle tapping all the way down the body, all the way up the body, over the belly, up the arms, across the chest, up the sides of the head, to the top of the head, and down the sides again. Across the chest once again, down the arms, tapping across the belly, and down the legs, maybe the front of the legs this time, or the side of the legs. And then let's switch to some gentle massaging, bringing that massaging to the forearms, up the sides of the arms, and the shoulders, the neck here, up the head. Give a nice massage here, not spending too long anywhere, but continuing down the body, across the chest, the belly, moving down the legs. We're just starting to feel that aliveness, that awakeness in our bodies. And then we're also bringing in some heat at the same time, so we're protecting our bodies. And from here, let's go back to that wiggling that we started, or grooving it out, like some of us like to say. Sometimes this movement can sort of shake us free from any distractions or overstimulation or oversensation, or maybe even discomfort we might be feeling. You can even shake out your legs. All right, now finding some stillness, returning to that mountain pose. As a reminder, that's where our knees are hip distance apart, all 10 toes are facing forward. We're really rooting those sits bones firmly into the floor and elongating the spine and the top of the head, getting a little bit taller, and our core is engaged front and back, and we're ready to go. We feel strong and we feel ready to continue. So here, let's get into a little bit of gentle neck and shoulder stretching. So gently bring one ear to one shoulder, and then slide the head forward and back, giving the side of the neck there just a little gentle massage with the movement. And remember here, we're not pressing or forcing our bodies into any one position. We're gently allowing things to fall into place, sometimes allowing just the weight of the head or weight of the body part and the use of gravity to just naturally pull our bodies into our stretching, into our poses. And then gently tuck the chin, roll the head all the way over to the other side. Maybe you feel little pops and cracks in your neck, and that's okay as long as there's no pain there. Just getting out all of the stress of the day that we've collected, or maybe we've slept a little bit funny. We're now on the other side doing the same thing, sliding our head forward and back. Remembering our breath here. Trying to deepen and elongate the breath just like we did earlier, even while we're adding this gentle movement. And then tuck the chin, rolling over to the first side. And then we're going to continue with this full circle of the head and the neck. So really take your time here. Explore this full circle. Once again, you might find some pops and crackles coming out of your neck. Check in and just make sure that there's not an over sensation here. No pain. If there's any sort of pain, any sort of discomfort, just take it down and do a little bit less. And that's totally fine. And reverse, other side, rolling in a full circle here. Checking in that we're not crunching our head in the back, crunching the neck, but we're keeping it elevated to protect the neck and the back. But explore every nook and cranny of this circle. Seeing how that feels. Hopefully you're feeling a bit of a release. If not, that's okay. And then here we're finding some stillness. Nice, long, straight spine. Dropping the arms by the sides, just allow them to hang and dangle. We don't really need to pay attention to them or control them here. We're going to start to connect now our bodies and our breaths. So just listen to my cues here. It's okay if you don't get it right away, but we're going to create a little bit of a rhythm with our breath and our movement. So first we're going to inhale as we bring our shoulders up to the ears. And as we exhale, we're rolling our shoulders down and back behind us, opening up the chest. We're going to repeat that 3 more times. Inhale, shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them down and back behind you. 2 more times. Inhale, shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them down and back behind you. 1 more time. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, down and back behind you. And now all we're going to do here is reverse. So this time, inhale, shoulders up to the ears. And exhale, down and forward this time. So concave in the chest. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, down and forward. 2 more times. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, down and forward. And last time, inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, down and forward. Nicely done. All right, now we're going to incorporate our arms a little bit here. There are 2 options you have, depending, we all have different flexibility in our shoulders and our arms and our upper back. So depending on where you're at today, option to keep your arms straight and long or bend the elbows. So for me today, I'm going to bend at my elbows, but again, option to keep your arms straight and long if you'd like. So here we're going to do the same thing with our breath and our body, but now we're just incorporating our arms a little bit more. So you choose either long arms or bent arms. Here we inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, roll them back, reaching back behind you like a backstroke in swimming. Inhale, reaching the arms forward. Exhale, back behind you, backstroke. 2 more times. I'm going to straighten my arms now. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, down and back behind you. Inhale, sweeping the arms forward and up. Exhale, down and back behind you. And now we reverse. Inhale, sweeping the arms back behind you. Exhale, down and forward. So we're getting a little bit more into that upper body. Inhale, sweeping the arms back behind you. Exhale, down and forward in front of you. This is like butterfly in swimming. Inhale, sweeping the arms back behind you. Exhale, down and forward. And last time, inhale, sweeping the arms back behind you. Exhale, down and forward in front of you. Awesome job, everybody. Last thing we're going to do here is placing our hands on our thighs. We're going to move into something called the cat-cow, which is a funny thing that comes up in yoga throughout. And you'll notice as the series continues or as you go on and take other yoga classes, that often yoga poses are named after environmental things like the mountain pose or sometimes animals, just because it kind of calls on the shape that animals tend to make or just what we think of when we think of animals. Sometimes it's just a nice inspiration for a pose. And it can be very silly names, as you'll find out as we continue on. But here is the cat-cow. So for the cat-cow, we're going to inhale, arch the spine, open up the chest, and look towards the ceiling. So there's a big arch all the way from the top of your head to your tailbone. And then exhale as we curve the spine, tucking the tailbone and tucking the chin. So there's now a C shape in your spine. Inhale, arch for the cow. And exhale, curve for the cat. Inhale, arch the spine. Open up the chest, look up towards the sky, shoulders drop. Exhale, curve the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, belly button in. 1 more time. Inhale, arch. And exhale, curve. And coming back to our mountain pose, getting nice and long in that spine. We're placing the hands back on the chest, back on the belly, just like we did at the beginning of the class. And tune back into your breath. Once again, not changing anything, but just observing, just noticing without judgment. There's no reason to judge, and there's no reason to change anything. What we're doing is simply observing how our bodies have entered the space. Now that we've completed several big movements, do you notice anything different with your breath? Do you notice anything different with the sensation of your body, of your temperature, of the texture of your clothes, any of those things that we noticed in the beginning of the class? Now, is there anything different? It's absolutely fine if there's not. But once again, noticing sensation differences is that practice and presence that we're always seeking here in our yoga classes. As a way to build and deepen that relationship between our minds and our bodies, and cultivate a way to regulate our nervous systems, to call on our breath as a tool, to calm our minds and our bodies when we need it. And dropping the hands by your sides. We're going to take 3 collective breaths to close out the class today. So exhale all the air from your body. And we'll inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Last time, inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming today. And most importantly, thank you for showing up for yourselves. I really hope you'll join me in my next 3 classes in the series going live on YouTube every Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And of course, you are more than welcome to join my regular class that I'm currently holding every Tuesday from 3:15 till 4 p.m. every Tuesday, Mountain Standard Time. Thank you